With the spring season right around the corner, many may be looking to kickstart their spring cleaning, but sometimes figuring out where to start can be overwhelming. Samantha Christofferson with KW Professional Organizers joins us today with some tips. Hi, Samantha.
Hey, Leanne.
So first off, when it comes to where to start, where do you start, and what are some of the common mistakes that you see?
So normally the number one complaint that we get from people who want to work with us is just feeling overwhelmed and not knowing where to start. So one thing that we like to offer to them, and especially since we don't get to meet in person, is to visualize. If they could snap their finger, what would be the one place that they would like to eliminate all their frustrations? Is it the kitchen? Is it the closet when they're getting dressed and that's a frustrating place? If they can kind of grasp that one spot, we always say pick one zone. So it could be as simple as a drawer, maybe in the kitchen, and it can be as complex as the entire garage needs to get hauled over. And some of the mistakes that people often lean into before getting started is not thinking it through, not really thinking about what's the ideal outcome, what would we like for this space, what activities do we want to do there. Sometimes they lean into comparing themselves to others. They see someone else doing something, they are feeding through an Instagram and they see something that inspires them, but maybe it doesn't really apply to them. And then one of the big ones is going out and shopping for a potential product, but not really knowing that that product is going to be the best solution for them. So by thinking things through, thinking about what's going to affect them and their family, they're going to have a much better decluttering and spring cleaning season with themselves, because they're setting themselves up for success with what's going to affect them the most.
And you bring up a key word there, decluttering. What are some basic tips that you have when it comes to that?
Well, if you are like most of us, and before we started organizing in 2012, we used to be a little over-optimistic. So if you think that something's going to take you an hour to 2 hours to declutter, it's always best to add a little bit of extra time. And what we always like to invite people to do is clear some time in the calendar. Is there a morning or a weekend that you can give yourself some uninterrupted time to really go through your belongings, ask yourself, do I need this? What am I going to do with it? And where should it be in my home so that I get good access to it? Because that's another thing. If you're a painter and all your stuff is always tucked up on the top shelf of a closet, the likelihood of you being able to use it's not going to be very high. Whereas if you can set up your space with some art supplies in a nice space where you have access to it, you're more likely going to enjoy and partake in that activity more often.
Samantha, there is something that I'm guilty of, and I'm sure many others are too. My space will be completely organized, and then after a few weeks, it seems to just get messy once again. Is there a way that we can avoid this?
For sure. So again, that's really common. And sometimes it can even look worse than, the week before when you tidied it up. And sometimes it's because we haven't given ourselves permission to really say, are all the things in our space bringing us value? Do we really need all of these things? And so thinking about what it is that you want and having a home for everything makes tidying up and maintenance a lot faster. So we're in my daughter's bedroom right now, and it's been tidied up, but she knows where everything goes. So when the mess and hurricane occurs, which is normal and totally okay, we can have a tidy up time and she can help participate, and everybody knows this is where the books go, this is where the art goes, this is where we put our crayons. All of that kind of stuff is really important, just picking really good homes that are going to work for you and your family.
We've seen sort of a minimalist movement, if you will, and a simplified style is great, but is there a way that we can get there easily?
So one of the common misconceptions of minimalism means that we only own one shirt, one piece of furniture. I mean, that's kind of the extreme side of minimalism, but you can be a minimalist with a lot of different things. The difference being you intentionally know why you have them and why you use them. And be cognizant, what are the limitations of the space that you're in? You can have a minimalist style, but potentially if you've got a let's say a 500 square foot apartment, that's going to look very different from someone who has a 3,000 square foot home. You can have more or less things, but both could have a minimalist style. So it's about addressing what lifestyle do you have and how many things do you want to look after, create homes for, and again, use in your daily activities.
Decluttering has definitely been on my mind lately, and I know I need to get to it soon. So thank you so much for these tips, Samantha, and thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Leanne. Take care.